Guys, I honestly make these videos like I'm speaking to my past self, my past younger self, that I wish I knew all this info when I was young. And in this video, I'm going to talk about how people don't truly love you. Now, I know it's going to sound so unromantic, I get it, but hear me out. People don't truly love you, they love their projection of you. What do I mean by that? How many versions of you are there ultimately? You might think, one, I'm here. But no, if you meet 5 people, if you interact with 5 people today, with varying relationships to those people, one person will say they love you. Another person will say they hate you. One person will say they like you. Another 2 might say, neutral about you. Who's ultimately right? If you ask the person that loves you, am I lovable? They'll say yes. If you ask the person that hates you, are you hateable? They'll say yes. See what I'm saying? Who has the ultimate opinion of you? No one, but everyone. Everyone's living in their own head. Everyone's living in their own projections. So whatever people project onto you, that's what they see. And this is the case with people that love you. They're not ultimately loving you, they're loving their projection of you. You've got some qualities that they find happiness in. And what they find happiness in can and does change. What do I mean by that? Just say you met someone. From day dot, you've been consistent. Acted the same, talked the same, provided them the same value. Consistency. And if they drift apart from you, if they move on, why is that? You've done nothing different. Because their values have changed, what they find happiness in has changed. You see what I'm saying? If you intrinsically were lovable, if being lovable was an intrinsic part of you, everyone would love you and no one would fall out of love with you. But this shows you that you're not intrinsically lovable. No one is. This is why we fall in and out of love with everyone, isn't it? And I just thought this was a really important thing to realize before you enter your next relationship or friendships. Because look how unstable this is. You've got some image about yourself that is constantly changing through time. They've got some image about you that's constantly changing in time. This is so unstable. This is why everything falls apart. We feel like I'm a fixed entity, they're a fixed entity, but we're not. We're like a flowing river. We call the river the same name every day, don't we? But it's a constant flow of different water. We call this person the same person every day, but it's a constant flow of thoughts and feelings. And so are the people that we love, or we can fall out of love with. The only reason I'm mentioning this, guys, and the only reason I wish I knew this information younger is, why are we so irritated in life? Why are we so angry at others or the world? Because we're trying to find lasting happiness in a changing world. That's the nature of life, isn't it? Constantly changing. And if life lined up exactly how you wanted it, just say everything was going for you, and you went, yes, finally, it's all lined up for me. What's it going to do the next moment? It's going to change. And this is what happens with so many relationships, or at the wedding, at wedding vows. Why are people happy in a relationship when they first get together? Especially a serious relationship, like a marriage. Because there's so many factors that have lined up in that moment. You're attracted to the person. You find value in them, whatever makes you happy about them. Perhaps both your families are getting along. Your friends approve. There's so many people involved, so many variables that bring you together that make you say, I do, in that moment of marriage, for instance. But what happens in time? Arguments over money. Someone's not attracted to someone else. Fights with in-laws. See, all these variables outside of your control are slowly moving and changing, and then you get to the point where you wonder, what happened to us? Why aren't we happy anymore? Now, the generations of the past seem to tough it out and get through it. Very admirable. That's what we should all be doing. But in this day and age, so much convenience. We're all disposable. We're not willing to work on things. It is what it is. So All I'm saying, guys, you're messing with your own head. We all are. It's natural. And how is that? By trying to find lasting happiness in a changing world. So how do you move through this life detached? People always say be detached. Move through life detached. But we can't. We always need to attach to something. So if we can't attach to this world, what do we attach to? I'm a spiritual channel first and foremost. Take all that desire to the world and direct it to a higher power, to God, or to realizing your true self. Your true self is stable, unchanging. I won't get into it in this video. Or if you're devotional in nature, God is stable and unchanging. Take all this, collect up all these desires scattered in 1,000 different places and direct it towards God, or your true self. Also, what this will do, have you ever noticed a distracted mind is an unhappy mind? By that I mean, when you're in the company of someone you enjoy, ever notice how naturally all your attention goes to that person? That's why you're happy. Your mind is focused and concentrated. When you're around someone that you don't like, it's very scattered, thinking about the time, when can I get out of here? Scattered mind is an unhappy mind. This life currently, especially now these days, is very scattered, unconcentrated. No wonder why we're so miserable and depressed. What does taking all this desire and concentrating it on one desire, the desire for God or your true self, it gives you a concentrated, focused mind. See? Concentrated and focused mind on something greater than yourself. You detach from this world, attach it to that, you're going to move around this life without desire anymore. All your desires are slowly going to turn to preferences, and preferences are harmless. A desire is, I need it to be this way, and if it's not, I'm angry, and I'm going to take what I want for very passionate people. When it's a preference, you go, I prefer this, I prefer that. It didn't work out, oh well. You see what I'm saying? That's what you need to do, and that's what spiritual practice is for. Another example would be like, just say a gambler that's had a big windfall. They've won like 10 grand. So happy with that win. They're very happy, aren't they? If they continue to play small bets, $10 bets on blackjack, whether they win or lose, it won't fuss them too much. Yeah, they prefer to win, but if they lose, it doesn't matter. It's only $10, win or loss, because you've already won the 10 grand. What about a gambler that's lost 10 grand? They're irritable, they're miserable. If they continue to play blackjack, $10 bets, every loss will be like another irritation. Every win will be irritable too, because even though they've won, they've still got a lot to make up. 10 grand they've lost. We are moving through this life like that gambler that's lost a lot of money. When we lose, when we don't get what we want, we're irritable. When we get what we want, it's okay, but we still kind of feel like something's missing. If you really want to feel like the winning gambler, the one that's happy because they've won a lot of money and moves through this life with, oh, I'd like to win a little bit more, but if I don't, it doesn't matter. Look what's happening. This life is constantly changing. People are constantly changing. What are you doing to yourself? And I know you're not going to just watch one video and just go and change. And I encourage you, try to seek happiness in the world, in objects, all that kind of stuff. That's the first stage of spiritual practice, by the way. Try to seek happiness in the world. If it works for you, great. If it doesn't, the true source is inwards or Godwards. So come back to this video when you're ready. But take all the time you need in the world. But maybe I'm biased, but it's all going to fall apart. That's my prediction. Prove me wrong. In any case, guys, I hope this video helps, and I'll see you in the next one, eh? Until then, take care of yourselves.